Hello, thank you for joining Insight into Wellness. My name is Alexandra, and today I'm speaking with Alexis Morris. She is a mama, a wife, and a registered veterinarian technician by day and essential oil guru by night. She guides, teaches, and empowers mamas on how to safely and effectively use plant-based medicine to help protect and heal themselves and their families. Alexis empowers moms with essential oil solutions that are easy and powerful. She strives to guide other mamas on how to balance taking care of their family naturally while focusing on self-care. Thank you for joining me, Alexis.
No problem.
So I like to start off the conversation just getting the basis of where you developed this want, this need, this desire to work more holistically with your life.
Yeah, I guess it started, I think about 3, maybe 4 years ago. Time kind of flies and molds together, so I don't really know the exact start date, so let's just be honest there. Where before that, I was very much into whatever, doctors would say. I would just do that, and I wasn't necessarily getting the answers to, like, my own health care solutions. I am very much, since I am in the medical field, very much about, where modern medicine is needed, but also about being able to take ownership of our own healthcare. And so I had some health issues. I wasn't sleeping very well. I'm an avid runner, kind of taken off a little bit of a break from it just because I had a kid. And so being gentle with my body after childbirth and pregnancy, getting back into it. But before kiddo, I was a ultra marathon runner, so had a lot of injuries. And name it, I just had various health issues that I feel like a lot of people can relate to. And so I didn't really like having the solution being taking another pill or you just having to deal with it. So I didn't like the side effects. So I had a friend who was finishing her own health coaching schooling, and so she needed some guinea pigs, let's put it that way, and was listening to me talk about how I just was having a real difficult time shutting my mind off at night, being able to sleep soundly through the night, that a lot of people probably can relate to. Is just sleep. If you don't have it, it messes with everything. And so she actually is the one who really got me started with using essential oils. I had no background or experience with it. Every experience I had was actually pretty negative. And that was because, and I can get into it later, is the quality and purity of the oil that I was using was subpar. So I really had never had a great experience. So she actually gave me a little sample of lavender and told me to just put it on the bottom of my feet at night, and because your feet have the largest pores, so you absorb that oil and the benefits of that oil a whole lot better. And she's like, and you can put it on your pillow and call me in the morning if you want, or you don't have to. And so at that point, if anybody can relate, I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired, so I was willing to try something different, as hokey as that sounds. And so I did it. Went home with this little sample of lavender. My husband kind of laughed at me, being like, I don't think that's going to fix the issue, but go for it, because he knew I needed sleep. He does not deal with sleep issues. I did. So I tried it, and that was the first night, and I don't know how long that I actually slept through the whole entire night.
Wow.
And I tried it again the next night because I was like, oh, that's just a fluke. I must have been really exhausted. And it repeatedly, each night, it worked for me. And so seeing that one glimpse of, oh my goodness, I finally have something in my hands that I can help my own body, and I have a solution, just opened the door to being able to use oils on my, for running issues, for GI issues. My husband uses it. He has a very physically demanding job, so he uses it for his own health issues. I use it on my baby. I use it on my dogs. So it's my whole entire family uses it, and I can't not help but help other mamas who deal with other things, other health issues where I'm like, they're talking about, I'm like, here, try this if you want. So that's kind of where I started, and then it's just just
Snowballed
part
from
of my day. I could never imagine not having them in my household, and not using them for and helping other people. But my background is definitely not.
I think when you have the whole family, like what
Yeah,
you're
I need to
saying.
get some water. Can you pause?
Oh yeah, I'll just talk for a moment.
Sorry, hold on. I have a cup.
Yep. I know that sometimes when you're working or have an engagement like this, things can just dry up and
Yeah.
I was just going to mention that with Ayurveda, we have a situation where we also use oils and essential oils on the feet as well. And doing that, especially specifically with lavender, is great for sleeping, and oil on the body and essential oils that way. So it's really cool to know that across the board, holistically, there's a lot going on with the same techniques and similar ideas.
Exactly. Sorry, like I said, because we're moving our house, all the dust that's been packed up in my house. Whew.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for continuing on.
I've been using a whole lot of oils, though. But apparently, it's not helping right now.
That's an interesting topic that I did want to get into. Oils being taken internally or topically or even diffused. Where do you stand specifically with oil taking it internally?
Yeah. So I take oils internally all day. I mean, all the time. It is all about making sure that you're choosing a pure oil. Sorry, as I'm coughing and probably need to go grab some oils. So I specifically use a certain brand. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you which brand. Okay. So I use doTERRA essential oils. They are pretty much an industry leader in their purity and potency. You can look at the bottom of their bottle, and you can go on their website and look at the chemical properties. It's very sorry, I'm dying here.
Don't die.
Apparently. So you can actually look at their chemical property that is in every oil. They source all the oils. They control 98% of where their oils are sourced from. So their big thing is making sure that they have the purest and most potent oil on the market. So knowing the science behind it, how much they test it, how pure the oil is, I know safely that I can say that I would use that oil. No, you're fine.
Just for a moment, I have done a little research and have been told that taking it internally can cause different reactions for different people. And so I think it's important to just note and just comment on everybody is different. Every body is different. And depending on how much you're taking, if you're deciding to take it internally, maybe start with, just a little bit, see how your body reacts.
Well, the interesting thing is, so in a society where we're more is better, with doTERRA and the potency of the oil, you only ever need 1 to 2 drops. So where most people are let me just go take a whole entire bottle, or let me dump a whole entire bottle, or granted, I have a big, huge glass of water right now, but if this is a plastic cup, so this is a glass or a stainless steel cup, I would actually put oil in here. But I think my husband packed up all of our stainless steel glasses, hence why I'm having a hard time actually getting my cough under control, because I'd put a drop of lemon in here and I'd be golden. But since it's plastic, I really can't do that. Oils will start actually breaking up the plastic. But in 32 ounces of water, I would need 2 drops. So where we're so used to being in a society where we're using so much more, you really only ever need 1 to 2 drops. But the big thing is a lot of oils, when you go into Walmart, or I think you can get oils anywhere. You can go in, you can probably get them in a gas station now, and they'll say 100% pure. Well, but if you really flip the bottle over, you'll see that only about 1% of that bottle of essential oil is essential oil.
Mm-hmm.
doTERRA's, and there are a couple of other brands out there, but my background is specifically doTERRA. It's 100% pure. So when it's just lavender, it's just lavender. And so when I'm taking so I use for allergies a drop of lemon, lavender, and peppermint into like a little gel capsule. I'm just using a drop of each. And so when I know when I'm taking lavender, that it is just lavender. It's not like the part of the, the lavender plant I'm allergic to. Like, it'll just make my allergies go to high heaven because it's the pollen. But when you're actually distilling down the property of lavender, you're getting the chemical component of it. But it is amazing how, like, people are so scared about taking or using an essential oil. They have to research it, but nevertheless will take a pharmaceutical medicine because their doctor prescribes them.
Yeah, there is a definite gap between holistic care and
Yeah.
the information behind it. And there are,
Yeah.
when I did my research to start looking up things about essential oils, and I have been using essential oils for some years now, there's across the board good and bad. There's so much information at our fingertips that it can be scary to take your health into your own hands in this way.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention there's a few techniques that you can use, which if you are, just stepping into oils or just trying oils, yes, try it internally, see how it works with you. Again, everyone is different. You can also take essential oils and put them on the inner elbow or behind the ear and just see how
I'm all about topical application. When I first started using oils, it was topically and diffusing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of people who won't take them internally, and that's fine because you can still get the same benefits.
Mm-hmm.
But like I take frankincense, I put a drop underneath my tongue because of the cellular properties that frankincense has. That it'll go into past my blood-brain barrier, and it helps me with anxiety, and kind of helps keep me grounded and focused. So like the cellular benefits of it are great, but I also can put that on the topically in the back of like my occipital, like where your occipital lobe is. And you get the same thing. Like, but being that said, if you are on, medications and you're worried about the side effects, what is nice is, like I said, you can print out the chemical breakdown of your oil that you're using and bring it to your doctor. And you can be informed and empowered and be like, I want to take this oil internally. How is that going to work? I took essential oils internally when I was pregnant, and my child is absolutely fine.
Yeah, good to know. It's, like I said, you hear so many and read so many intense stories.
It's really a bad place sometimes. Yeah. You shouldn't go in there alone.
I know. And do your positive experience is definitely beneficial and needed. It's that do-it-yourself culture where we want to start taking responsibility for our own care, or we have or and then stepping into that.
But the coolest thing about doTERRA is they actually do have a medical advisory board, so it's just not like a bunch of like people who have no idea what they're talking about with oils. Like they have actual like doctors who are helping formulate oils and healthcare like protocols and with your healthcare in mind. So it's just not like random people who have no medical background saying, hey, use these oils. They're actual like a medical advisory board, and they actually also have a veterinary advisory board too.
Oh wow.
So it's nice, like regardless of if you're using oils, it's all about making sure you're educating yourself appropriately.
How you and your family, you touched on it just a little bit, bringing oils into your family's life, how has it really affected, changed things for you and your family?
So I mean, my daughter Rose has gotten oils. She was probably not even within a few hours old. She got oils put on her, and a kind of traumatic birth, and so she needed to have oils put on her. She actually had they had to use a suction to get her out, so she had a big, huge scar, like gaping wound on her head. So I actually used the spray that I had to help heal my lady parts. I sprayed it on her head, because I couldn't touch her poor little noggin. And it helped heal it up. Like, her pediatrician was amazed at how quickly her scalp healed up.
What was the solution, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, it was frankincense, helichrysum, geranium, and lavender, and like fractionated coconut oil. And so it's like all oils to kind of help with pain and inflammation and healing. So like I couldn't touch I was hurting because of everything, but like I couldn't touch my child's head. And so it was making it very difficult to try to breastfeed her. And so I sprayed it on, and they were all worried that it wasn't going to heal, that it was going to scar, that it was going to be discolored. She was just a little tiny scar. Couldn't even tell. Amazing. But being that said, like, she knows our routine. When we're on the changing table, she gets oils put on her feet. Now that she's walking, she gets it put on her spine because the oil's on the bottom of her feet because she doesn't like to wear socks. She gets a little flipper. Yeah. But we put oils on her in the morning to kind of help. I use frankincense to help keep her grounded and to help with her immune system. doTERRA has like a kids line, so I use their kid immunity booster. So she gets that put on the bottom of her feet at night or on her spine or in the day. She goes to preschool and she hasn't gotten sick. She's had 2 ear infections in like 15 months. And it helps when she's having a tantrum. I'll use an oil to help calm her down.
And when do you insert that? She's starting to get elevated. There are feelings, some strong feelings coming forth.
Yeah.
Like even breaking that, like, okay, we can have this fight, or we can have this conversation. Let me put some oils on you. How does that happen?
Yeah, well, she doesn't really there's not really conversations going on with her because she's only 15 months and there's
of course. I was thinking
there's no verbal, but she's starting, like, she'll just be in a tizzy, and so I'll say, I'm like, why don't we put some oils on you? And then I'll go and I'll grab and I'll rub. It's a roller ball. It's on the kids line. It's called Calmer. It's her nighttime blend, but the oils that are in it are calming oils. So I'll rub it on her, and I honestly, like, it was at some restaurant, and she was just not having it, and I rolled it on her. Within 5 minutes, she was a completely different child. Happy, carefree, completely different child. And everybody's like, what the heck did you just put on her?
The person next to you is like, can I have some?
Exactly. And so, like, she knows, like, when we started going to preschool, they had doTERRA has a child's blend that's called Brave. It's basically to help
willpower.
The oils are in there to help them. They're like citrus oils, so they're there to help empower her. So I rubbed it on her, and I was expecting her to have like a meltdown when we dropped her off, and she was fine. I honestly do believe that those oils helped her. When she's at nursery school and she's not wanting to go down for a nap, her teacher knows that she can roll Calmer on her spine, and she's like, it really helps calm her down.
Yeah.
And she'll let you, like, and she's getting to the point now where she's trying to roll them on her feet, and we're working on like her empowerment of, she wants this, like, I know she can walk around with a bottle, and I don't have to worry about, like, she's walking. They're safe.
Yeah.
My husband, whenever something is hurting him, because his job is very physical, he usually asks for his oils, which are like copaiba, which is a great anti-inflammatory. It's kind of similar oils. Everybody's on that CBD train. Copaiba CBD is from hemp. Copaiba is an actual oil that's distilled, and it works on so it actually is from a tree.
Oh, okay.
So copaiba works on the CBD1 receptor, which when you smoke marijuana or take CBD oil, it works on 2 receptors. One of those receptors is a hallucinogenic. Copaiba works on the receptor that is geared only towards pain and inflammation. And so it's a very powerful oil. It is fantastic. And so my husband will use that, and he'll use Deep Blue. And
I was going to say, does he use the Deep Collection?
He uses Deep Blue. Oh yeah, and he takes the capsule. My mom, who has a lot of muscular issues, she takes a deep blue capsule. She's been taking it for 3 years, and that's the only thing that like she notices a difference. So we have it in our house. Like he'll diffuse oils. We diffuse oils at night to go to bed. He'll just put oils in the diffuser if she's being grumpy. Rose has her own oils in her bedroom. Like it's just part of our routine.
Part of the
Yeah, if somebody's feeling a little funky, we'll put in oils to help boost our immune system.
Yeah.
Um,
I have a question here from Amanda from
Okay.
Oregon. And it's kind of an alignment of when you're working with kids. She's asking, are there essential oils to avoid when breastfeeding, both topically and ingested?
So the only oil that, so I breastfed my daughter, and if you're breastfeeding, that's great. If you're not breastfeeding, that's awesome. I kind of did both. So it's whatever works for whatever mama. The only oil that I avoided, and avoided is loosely, like I wouldn't topically like completely apply to my breast, was peppermint. And that's just because and I will give it to mamas who are weaning, peppermint is great at drying up your milk supply.
Oh.
So I still used, there were times where I had like congestion because, changes of seasons. So I would still, I diffused peppermint to help with alertness. I still took peppermint internally because, like I said, I use lemon, lavender, peppermint to help me with allergies. But I would only do like a drop. And then I just wouldn't topically apply peppermint to my boobs.
But
And
your body was okay.
But for me, I didn't have the greatest milk supply, so I was paranoid. But I know other mamas who have a great milk supply and had applied peppermint topically and had no problems. But I think because I was working so hard to stay up with my child and still had a supplement, that I was kind of like, let me just avoid peppermint because I know that it's going to dry up my milk supply. But I used, there are a lot of oils to help increase milk supply too, which a lot of mamas, want, which is like fennel is really great. So I'd apply it topically, or you can take it internally, which is also, if you have like a kind of colicky baby, the fennel is going to help the baby's belly too. Lavender, which if you have a colicky baby, it's going to help relax them. So a lot of times the oils that are applying to me, Rose would get just breathing them in, because I needed something to calm me down. And so she would get it because she'd be breathing in lavender, or, I had put fennel on my boobs hoping that it would help my milk supply, and it would help, and it helped her colic. So it's kind of that, it's pretty much just peppermint.
Yeah. And you had mentioned earlier about fractionated coconut oil, and there's different carrier oils. Can you talk about
why you'd want to use one?
But just kind of step into that for a moment.
Yeah, so a carrier oil, it's basically anything. So let me back up. So topically applying oils, there are kind of like three classes of oils. There's oils that are neat, or that are you can apply to your skin and not going to cause any skin irritation. So lavender is a great example, okay? There are oils that are sensitive, which mean for some individuals, because of how sensitive your skin is, or if you're a small child, or an older adult, and it might cause a little bit of discomfort. So peppermint can be one, because depending on like your skin sensitivity, it could just, the sensation could become a little too much. I definitely noticed when I was pregnant, some of the oils that didn't bother me before pregnancy, as I became more and more pregnant, my skin was more and more sensitive, just because you're pregnant, everything starts bothering you. And then there are hot oils, and those are oils that if you apply on your skin topically, they're going to burn. So that would be like clove or cinnamon, or like a lemongrass. So a carrier oil can serve one or two purposes. The carrier oil, one, can help you apply those oils that are, sensitive or hot, that you might want to apply. So lemongrass is a great oil to use if you have any like muscle pulls or strains. It helped me deal with a piriformis issue. So it's a great oil. But if you apply it on your skin, it can be a little warm. Sometimes the warmness is great. Sometimes you really don't want that intensity. So if you use that carrier oil, it basically acts, it helps reduce the sensitivity and discomfort that you'll have. But the overall benefit of the oil isn't dampened. The other benefit of a carrier oil, which is why they're great, is if you just take an oil and apply it on your skin, some of it will evaporate off. When you use a carrier oil, especially if you're dealing with muscle issues or bone issues or something where you need the oil to work over a longer period of time and actually get deep into your skin, that carrier oil allows the oil to work and the benefits of that oil to work into your muscle. So when I was dealing, like if you're dealing with any sort of like muscle issues, you definitely want to use a carrier oil with the oils that you're using, just so then it can help kind of drive that oil in. With that said, it doesn't really matter what carrier oil you use. It's kind of personal preference. Coconut oil is what most people use. Fractionated coconut oil is just the fat's been removed, so it stays liquid at room temperature. Coconut oil usually solidifies at room temperature. So for some people, I just don't like smelling like coconuts, and I don't have to worry about warming something up to be able to use it, so that's why I use fractionated coconut oil. If you have really sensitive skin, some people need like a little thicker carrier oil, so like that would be like grapeseed oil, jojoba oil, I think that's how you say it, jojoba oil. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, if you're in a bind, you could use olive oil, like avocado oil. You could do whatever you want. And there are times, there are times where I don't necessarily use oil, like a carrier oil. It just depends on what my ultimate purpose is. I'll use carrier oils a lot for topical application if I'm dealing with muscle issues. If I'm just applying it to help with to calm me down, to center me, especially when I'm dealing with applying something for more like emotions in the balance, I don't necessarily use a carrier oil. I'll just apply it to my chest and go for it that way. Or for nighttime, I'll just apply it to the bottom of my feet. So it really is a personal preference.
Wonderful. I like that. Definitely different oils for different bodies. Again, if you feel like you're getting a reaction, and sometimes I found in the oil realm, it won't be as much of a irritation. It will be more of a clogging of the pores. So then you can kind of choose a lighter oil or a more heavy oil, or a lighter oil for the face, a heavier oil.
Exactly. Now with kids, I will preface, you need to dilute.
And what do you dilute?
And then and so depending on the age of the child, I mean, depends on how much you're going to be diluting. And there are a whole host of people who are like, do not put oils on kids under the age of 12 or 6 or newborns, this, that, and the other. And, I trust I trust doTERRA's medical panel. But I put it on my child. I only use a few oils on her. Frankincense, I mean, if it was good enough for baby Jesus, it's good enough for my child. Cellularly, the benefits of frankincense are just enormous. I mean, the cellular properties, immune function. I mean, you could put, she doesn't have any facial wrinkles. But anyways, I use rose on her, and that's diluted. And then I'll use.
When you say diluted, do you mean it's diluted?
So like a 10, so I'll have like a 10 milliliter roller ball, and I'll have fractionated coconut oil, and I'll only have 2 drops.
As opposed to usually 10 drops or 15 drops or something.
Yeah. So, and that's why I like doTERRA has a kids collection, and they also have a roller ball, the mainstay oil, so lavender, digestin, which I use on her pretty much regularly, because babies and toddlers and constipation kind of just go hand in hand. I don't feel like having to give my kid Miralax, so instead I rub digestin on her belly button, just around her belly button, especially when she's being kind of gassy, and she'll poop in 30 minutes.
That's amazing.
you know, and she knows it. Like, she'll pet her belly. I'm like, let's rub some oils, and then she'll rub it on, and then like she'll feel better. And so having that power to be able to make my child feel better when she, you know, without having to use Miralax and hoping that it'll work, allowing my kid to sleep better at night. And so all the oils that I use are diluted. Um, and you can make your own, or I'm lazy and, well, I'm not lazy, I'm just an overwhelmed mama. So they have already, like, the kids line, they have a kids deep blue, which is basically, it uses oils that are a little more sensitive. So instead of, like, if you're familiar with the deep blue line, it's a great oil, but it's a little much for a baby. So instead, it has copaiba and spearmint. So when she'll get vaccines, her 15-month shots on Friday. So I'll use the rescue, and I'll use frankincense where she gets her shot, so her legs won't be sore.
Yeah. And I know
So
we
it's great.
but you know, just when you step into this, if it's your first time, or maybe you're seasoned and you're using oils, you know, just talk to your doctors, bring in the printouts that doTERRA
Yeah.
offers. If you're using other oils, do your research. And I thought we would
It's really
end.
important.
What was that?
I said it's really important. It's making sure that you're empowered, and it's overwhelming. Like, I know, like, starting out, it's really overwhelming. So that's why I love working with moms, being like, okay, so what are your top 3 health concerns? That's normally what I start with. And they're like, well, sleep, stress, or getting my kid to poop. I don't know. I usually try to first focus on mom before we focus on others, because you first need to know that they work for you. But then making a little protocol, being like, okay, so sleep is your issue. Well, let's try lavender first.
Yeah.
And then it's like, if lavender doesn't work, that's okay. It's like Tylenol works for some people, Advil works for another person. So just because lavender doesn't work to help you sleep doesn't mean that oils don't work. It just means that we just didn't find the right essential oil for you. And that's awesome. There are like 1,000 other ones that we can try. So, you know, but people are so quick to dismiss plant-based medicine when you're like, this is what people used for years before modern medicine came around.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of modern antibiotics are from plant-based medicine. So it's just, it sometimes I feel, I don't know if you're the same way, it's like an uphill battle sometimes, being like, just trust me, it will work.
Exploration.
Yeah, and that's where we come in. We come in to educate, and then, like, help mamas, and help, you know, to help them realize that they do have the answers. It just takes a bit of time, but, you know, it's hard sometimes.
It is. It's a challenge, and having someone like yourself or someone like myself to help people walk through that process is
Yeah.
such a valuable resource. I thought we would end with a fun question from Mariah in LA, and she also works with doTERRA and wanted to know a few of your favorite blends. And I know that doTERRA has specific blends, so I was wondering if you have any little fun concoctions that you made up or that you added to that you really enjoy.
Yeah. Well, my money blend right now is always balanced. That's like, that is I think I have like 6 bottles open at a time. They're
What's
like every
that?
purse. So it's a grounding blend. It helps with anxiety. If you're really into yoga, it helps, I guess, make your tree poses more or less wavy. But it's like a very woodsy blend, but it helps take me from being up here to being steady and even keeled.
Very grounding.
Very grounding. It just helps calm me and center me. But I know doTERRA just had their convention. They're releasing new products, and they're coming out with a line that's based completely on anxiety called Activa or something, which I'm super excited about. So that might be my new, like, favorite blend. But ones that I have made, so I call it my wonky knee blend. It's mainly for my husband, but it has deep blue, copaiba, turmeric, and wintergreen in there. So all powerful oils to help with pain and discomfort and inflammation. And so I just basically put in like a 10 ml roller roll. I think I put like 5 to 10 drops of each thing. I might have put like a little bit of lemongrass in there, but it's basically those 4. And he'll use it. And a lot of times I end up stealing it from him and use it myself.
Like, I made this for you. I'm taking it back for a second.
Pretty much. And then so that's definitely one that I just kind of took all of, like, I think it got packed up. I have a book. It's called The Essential Life, and basically it's like my oil Bible. And so I'll go in there and I'll like look at each, like, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm needing health wise. Maybe it's, you know, sore muscles, or maybe it's female, like being hormonal. Like, what are some great oils to help with hormones? And make those blends. For me, a lot of times I find that I like the oils that doTERRA's come up with. Their blends generally hit the mark. But like, so they have one oil I had from running plantar fasciitis for a while, and so they have past tense, which is a headache, like some migraine tension, and I use it on the bottom of my foot to help with plantar fasciitis, because the oils that are in there are great for pain and inflammation. So
yeah, you had mentioned, and we only have about a minute left.
Yeah.
You had mentioned also on your animals. Do you, what do you use for your dog?
So I use Balance and Wild Orange for my one dog, Ollie, when we have thunder, lightning, thunderstorms.
Oh, wow.
I'll just put a drop of each in my hands, rub them together, and rub them on his ears and down his spine. He doesn't like his paws touched. With any oil that you use on a pet, topically, you're going to want to dilute it by using or basically use some fractionated coconut oil. Your hand is usually a good, like a little cup, and then put in a drop. But for me, and then you can just apply it topically. They're gonna end up licking themselves, so they're gonna be getting some of it internally. I use a lot of frankincense and copaiba on my dogs. I have older dogs who have a lot of, Ollie just had knee surgery on his other knee, not even 60 days ago. So he gets copaiba and frankincense rubbed on it. And I actually used the Kids Rescuer, so the Kids Deep Blue, on his knee. I used it after surgery. Pebbles, our 7-pound dog, has a spinal injury right now, so she's getting frankincense and copaiba. I'll diffuse for them. I have both. Well, Ollie has anxiety, so we'll diffuse Balance and bergamot a lot of times when we leave the house, so it helps.
That's so sweet. A little radio and a little
radio. Bergamot is one of those uplifting and empowering oils. So it helps with self-confidence if you read the emotional side of it. So we use confidence building oils with him. So I'll use them with dogs, and with cats you can use oils safely. Like with a cat, you just don't shut them in a room with the diffuser. Like, give them the chance to be able to leave, especially if they don't like the diffuser. There's certain oils you don't want to apply to them, so don't apply a hot oil to your dog or your cat and expect them not to have a reaction to it. But applying like a frankincense or a copaiba, wintergreen, you want to stay away from. There's some oils that you kind of want to be conscientious about with cats, but mostly with dog, like they can get benefit through diffusing. You can apply topically. You just you treat them literally like a baby, because they're like 7 pounds. So I definitely put like a drop of copaiba in their kibble, and I use it for inflammation and joint support.
Bottom line, do your research.
Exactly.
Really pay attention to any signs of something not working with your body.
And you're, again, using 1 to 2 drops. In a diffuser, you can use more. I mean, if you have a large diffuser that's diffusing for 12 hours, you can probably put 10 drops of something in there.
Yeah.
But you're not taking a whole entire bottle of tea tree oil and dumping it on your pet or dumping it on you. So it's knowing where you're getting it from. The purity and potency is key. And that's where pets will have reactions, is they're not reacting to the oil, they're reacting to the synthetics that's in it. Mm-hmm. You're reacting to the synthetics that it's in it because you bought your essential oil from Walmart.
Pay attention and
exactly.
do the work. Alexis, thank you so much for speaking with me. And I know there's so much that we spoke about. There's such a benefit to using oils. Is there a way that we can reach out to you and connect with you?
Yeah, you put my contact stuff. So people have that Facebook or the whatever contact information I gave you.
Great. I will make sure to link all of that for you to reach out to Alexis, ask your questions, and get some answers. And you can re-listen to this and more by joining the Green Tree community at greentree.com/access. I have changed that link. So again, greentree.com/access. And if you have a topic you're interested in hearing about, or you're someone who is a holistic leader in your community and would like to be featured, email me at hello@greentreeayurveda.com. Thank you so much for listening to Insight into Wellness, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining.